Welcome to the next lecture of English Language and Literature, Code 184, Cbse Class 10 Second Term Syllabus, classes by Mrs. Neha Gupta. In this video, we are going to learn the chapter, The Proposal, written by Anton Chekov. It's a very interesting and a humorous story. Let's talk about the title first. The title says The Proposal. The proposal is generally referred to a marriage proposal, though a proposal means a suggestion, a plan, or a scheme also, or an offer of a possible plan or action. But here in the story, this proposal is a marriage proposal only, and it is a humorous story where only three characters have been there. So let us talk about first that what is the drama about, and then we will go for the characters. The proposal is written by Anton Chekov, as I have already told you about that, and he is a famous Russian playwright. It's a humorous play. Humorous means which is going to make you laugh, and it satires marriages of convenience that are solemnized without any feeling of love or affection. So it is a kind of a satire also. Satire means when the follies of the society, when the bad practices of the society are presented in a humorous way, that becomes a satire. So here there have been some people who get married to each other, just they do not just for not for showing the love to each other, but just that they wanted to get married. They wanted to show the society that they have been rich and prosperous, just to tell the society that they have been leading a successful and successful life. So this story is also a satire upon the marriages which are taking place in convenience without having any love or affection between the partners. The play is having three quarrelsome characters, is replete, is full of the comic situations. There have been many comic situations which are going to make you laugh, and there is a lot of humor. So let us talk about the characters. The first characters who can be termed as the protagonist of this play is Lumov. He is a suspicious landowner. He is always doubtful on others, and he is a landowner. He owns a land. He is a well-to-do person, but he is unmarried, and he is in mid-30s. That means his age is around 32, 33, 34, like this, in mid-80s or 35, 36, like this. He suffers from palpitations. What is palpitations? When a person is excited very easily and upsets very easily, it is generally that your heartbeat is fast or it's slow because you are really upset or when you are really excited. So he suffers from palpitations. He has been looking for a perfect marriage partner, and he considers Natalia to be the ideally suited for him. He feels that he should get married to Natalia, who is the daughter of his neighbor. However, he is a quarrelsome man, and when he goes to propose Natalia, he gets into the arguments. And what kind of arguments? They have a land called Oxen Meadows. He considers that he owns this land, and she considers that her family owns this land. Fine. So let us see what happens. Then we have another character called Natalia. Natalia is a 25-year-old daughter of Chubukov. This is Chubukov. So she is garrulous. She is very much talkative. She is quarrelsome. She is a money-minded woman, and she's very possessive by nature. And in no case, she is not prepared to leave her claim. If she believes something, she is going to be on her that claim, whether it is right or whether it is wrong. Fine. Now the third character is Chubukov. Chubukov is the father of Natalia, and he is a very close neighbor of Lumov. Fine. Chubukov is a wealthy but a greedy person. He is a quarrelsome man. He is unfriendly to Lumov. Lumov is just his next door neighbor, and he is very unfriendly to Lumov. He is adept in the art of pretense. That means he pretend a lot. He is showy person. He pretends to be a nice person, but he is not. He is a hypocrite on the other hand, who says, hypocrite is a person who says something or believes something but does something else. Just does something opposite. He's a hypocrite and seems to be very cordial to Lumov. When Lumov comes to his home, he wants to propose Natalia, and he tells this thing to Natalia's father that he has come to propose Natalia, and he becomes very happy. Fine. But he's a short-tempered fellow. Let us go into the story, the play. The curtain rises, and Lumov entering. Lumov enters to Chubukov's home. He is in his beautiful attire. He is wearing a evening dress as if he has been going for a party. Chubukov is surprised to see him in that particular dress and asks him that what is the occasion about it. Lumov tells that he has come with a request. When he says this thing that I have come with a request, Chubukov feels that he wants to take some money from me. And he says that he himself decides that I'm not going to give him the money if he asks for it. But when he reveals that I have come to propose your daughter, I want to get married to your daughter, whose name is Natalia, Chubukov is very happy. He's very excited. And he says that definitely you are my darling. I'm going to call my daughter. You can talk to her directly. He goes from there to call Natalia. Now we are told about Lomov that he's a 35-year-old gentleman who suffers from palpitations. I have already told you. He thinks that this is the ripe age to get married because he is in his mid-30s, and he is happy that he has made up his mind about Natalia. He was thinking about Natalia for many days. Now he has made up his mind that Natalia would be a best suited partner for him. According to him, Natalia is an average looking girl. She is an excellent housekeeper. And now when Natalia arrives, Lomov is not able to get into the direct conversation of proposing her. He starts talking about the families. He says that my family and your family has been living together for so many years. He starts talking about it. And while he was discussing about the family, he talks about the land. He mentions about Oxen Meadows, which is a part of a land, which is the name of a particular land is Oxen Meadows. He mentions about Oxen Meadows, which was a disputed property, but now it is his property. When Natalia hears this, that he is claiming Oxen Meadows to be his property, she becomes angry. She says that no, Oxen Meadows belongs to us. Natalia could not believe a word what he was saying, because she believes that Oxen Meadows belong to her family. And both of them enter into a heated discussion. And both of them forget about their real purpose, and they act childishly and start quarreling with each other, arguing with each other. Lomov mentions, and both are giving the claim that how and why that property Oxen Meadows belong to them. Lomov mentioned that he has a proof that the land belongs to him. He even highlights that Oxen Meadows was a disputed property once, but now that dispute was over and everybody knew this thing, that property is theirs. That means of Lomov. And he tells about history. He says that my aunt's grandmother, this is important to be noticed because this may ask in the examination that how does Lomov prove his point about the ownership of Oxen Meadows. He gives the claim that my aunt's grandmother had given these Oxen Meadows to your father's grandfather's peasants. Peasants means farmers. Okay? And for 40 years, they have worked on that land and they started believing it that this land belongs to them. Simple as a story. What is the story? That my aunt's grandmother had given these Oxen Meadows to your father's grandfather's peasants, means farmers, to work upon it in perpetuity. Perpetuity means that in a kind of a bond which has no fixed date or expiry date. So they have been working on that land for 40 years, that they have started believing that this land is theirs, but in actual, on papers, this land belongs to Lomovs. Natalia disagrees and tells him that he can do anything to prove this theory if he is coming and wearing this beautiful jacket. So that does not mean that I'm going to fall into the trap. She won't come under the influence of him if he is well dressed, but she will never accept the fact that they are his. And she is clarifying this point that this land is ours only. She does not want to hear any claim of him. Now Chubukov re-enters. He feels that that Lomov might have proposed my daughter might have agreed to that. But when he enters, he finds this thing that both of them were fighting. Chubukov interprets and corrects Lomov by mentioning that I agree that this land was a disputed land, but now it is very clear to everybody that Chubukovs own it. And he even blames him of not seeing the plan. He is saying that I have a plan to show this thing that this land belongs to us. Chubukov gives his claim. And they are shouting and screaming at each other. They are calling bad names to each other. They started abusing each other. And now Lomov suffers from palpitation, as you know that. So he had extreme pounding of his heart, and he gets numb food. They throw Lomov out. They means Natalia and his father, Chubukov. They throw Lomov out of the house and they continue cursing them when he leaves the house. When he leaves the house, Chubukov tells Natalia that he had come to propose you. And Natalia was surprised and she starts crying. She says that go and immediately call him back. She regrets at her behavior. She tells her father to call him back. And Chubukov is very surprised to see this thing, that his daughter had been cursing Lomov and herself threw him out. And now she wants that Lomov should be back. Chubukov curses himself for being a father of a grown-up girl. And he goes and calls Lomov's back, and Lomov come back. Natalia tries to deviate to another topic. Now, Natalia doesn't want to talk about the ownership of Oxen Meadows. She says that, okay, I can recall that this land belongs to you. And she wanted to change the topic because she wanted that Lomov should come to proposal. He should propose Natalia. She tried to deviate the attention and she starts talking about shooting. Somehow they enter into another argument. And what was the argument about? Their dogs. Natalia feels that her squeezer was better, and Lomov feels that his guess was better. They continue to argue about it. He gives his own claim about guess, and she gives her own claim about squeezer. Now, when Chubukov re-enters on the scene, he sees that they again are arguing upon a topic. And he also starts telling that his squeezer was better. Everyone gets hyper. And Lomov finally falls due to palpitations. He suffers from severe palpitations and he becomes unconscious. Even then, the cursing continues. And when suddenly Natalia notices that Lomov is unconscious, they try to get water down his throat, but they found that he was dead. They feel that he was dead, but Lomov starts moving and they feed him with water. And Chubukov forcefully hands over Natalia's hand to him so that no new conversation should start and there should not be further arguments. He gives his blessings and asks them to kiss. Lomov is now fully conscious, but he does not understand. He is not fully conscious and he is not able to understand what was going on. But finally, he comes to his senses. He expresses his excitement. He's excited to get married to Natalia and he kisses Natalia's hands. Natalia, being childish, tries to use this this moment, and she says that squeezer is better than guess. But Lomov, being adamant, he says that no, my dog is better. And still the argument continues and the story ends over here. The thing is that they first argued about the ownership of Oxen Meadows. Then they talked about and they had the arguments about their dogs, whose dog was better. And finally, her father, make them propose to each other. But the argument still goes on. So that's the story. I have already explained you. If you have any query, you can write in the comment box. I will definitely get back to it. Stay tuned for more videos.